Hi there. Today I'm looking at an iconic New Zealand wine. This is the 2015 vintage of Esk Valley's The Terraces. So we've got a Bordeaux blend from Hawkes Bay, from a part of Hawkes Bay at the northern end of the wine producing area, called Bayview. And Esk Valley have a single terraced vineyard on a limestone hillside. It's about 2 hectares, and from that they make this premium Bordeaux blend. A little bit individualistic in that as a Bordeaux blend it's roughly equivalent amounts of Malbec, Merlot and Cabernet Franc, but actually the Malbec is the one that is the slightly larger portion of the 3 varieties. Again, also quite unusually, all 3 varieties are picked at the same time and they're fermented together. They're co-fermented in one large open concrete tank. Evidently the winemaker Gordon Russell was intrigued by some of the ideas of Alsatian producer Marcel Dies, who did similar things with white wines, and Gordon believes that this is a way that he can give a really pure expression of the particular vineyard on a particular day. The being on a terrace vineyard, obviously the fruit is hand picked. The terraces were dry farmed at this stage. There was no irrigation, so we're getting quite concentrated fruit. There was no fining or filtration, so the wine is very much as it was intended, and I believe an indigenous fermentation as well. Aging, long aging. The wine, I think, in about 50% new oak, all in 250 litre barriques. Went on for almost 2 years, and then additional time in bottle. It's now 2023, and the 2019 has only just been released. So this is a wine that gets decent aging before release. So let's have a look at the wine, shall we? First thing you'll notice a really sort of dark colour. There's a black purple edge to the redness of it. It's not opaque. I can see through it, but it's got quite a deep pigmentation. So let's have a look at the aromas. Smelling it, I did a video of the 2019 vintage of this fairly recently, and that was very much the black fruit end of the spectrum. 2015 was a less ripe vintage. It was slightly later picked, and here, instead of black fruit, I'm getting much more of a sort of a red fruit note. The notes are sort of mulberry, raspberry hints, touches of red plum, dark red plum. I mean, sort of red plum to damson sort of spectrum there, but more on the red side of things. And because the fruit is less sort of black fruit in style, actually I'm seeing the oak coming through a little. There are notes of cedar, there's notes of nutmeg. There are also slightly minty hints, but mint, sweet spice, and a sort of a soft milkiness as well, sort of underlying everything and making it sort of rounded and fairly smooth. It's good intensity, medium to good intensity. Let's taste it then. The wine has a fine structure of quite firm tannins. They're drying without necessarily being astringent and drying it out. There's nice acidity, and that's lifting that red fruit at the front of the palate really nicely. And then there's a sort of a red licorice note, a density to the middle, without being huge. This is medium to medium full-bodied. The alcohol says it's 14.5%, but it doesn't feel hot on the end. There is some warmth and some roundness, and actually that alcohol is ensuring that the finish, although there is some fresh red fruit there, is more structured. It's more cedary, and it's the structure, the tannins, that are making the wine last in the mouth. If anything, compared to the riper 2019, this is a little more closed in, a little brooding, and might do with a couple of years to open out a little more before it's ideal. Certainly, I'd say as a style of wine, that it's got lovely fresh acidity. It's got fine, firm tannins. It's mouth-filling and rich. I think this is a wine that would very happily age for another 10 to 15 years. The Terraces is only made in tiny amounts, so quite difficult to get hold of. I mean, this is I think they made 230 cases in 2015. This, incidentally, is labelled as bottle number 34, so early on the bottling line there. So yes, an interesting wine, well worth thinking about laying down. I think pricing wise, that cost me 160 New Zealand dollars, so I would reckon probably about $100 in the US. And a wine with aging potential, a wine that's interesting. It has its own very specific character, and I'd have confidence that it would age nicely. So yes, an unusual wine and worth a try. Esk Valley's The Terraces 2015. Thanks for watching. Bye now.